What is up, everybody? I am back with my fourth video of my journey, documenting my progress. Don't love that one. Didn't love it. What is up, everybody? It is Axton Hamblin, and I am back with my fourth video. And today, I'm going to share a lesson that I've realized and something that I've learned so far in my early entrepreneur journey at 17. And that lesson is that business is simple, but it's not easy. So what I'm going to do today is get out the old whiteboard and teach a little lesson. A little whiteboard, feel nice and professional with it. But yeah, today's video is that I'm gonna share with you 4 business principles that I have learned from reading books, running my own business, and just spending time in the business world. I'm gonna share with you the 4 lessons and the 4 key quadrants of a business that if you can become a master at and master these 4 things, I promise that you will run a successful business at scale. Let's go with the red marker because it matches my hoodie and talk about the first business principle. And I will write it on the board and then show you. Number 1 is that you need to solve a problem. Now, I know that this sounds very obvious. Now, it is obvious. Obviously, you don't have a business if you're not providing something of value to other people. But the idea here is why that this is a very, the number one thing, because if you don't have this, you don't have a business. But there's levels to it. You know, there's people that solve small problems so they make small money. But there's people that solve big problems and they make big money. So if you become a great problem solver, which I'm sure you've heard that term before, being a problem solver, you know, you're working in a group project or something at school and you need to solve a problem as a group, become a problem solver, or in just regular life. But in business, becoming a problem solver is about as important as it gets. So let's look at an example. For an example of solving a small problem, we can look at something like a guy, myself. Let's say I go door to door in my neighborhood and say, knock on their door, hello ma'am / sir, my name is Axton, I live in the neighborhood, and I would like to pick up do you have a dog? Yes, you do. Okay. Does it poop? Yes, it does. I would like to come by once a week, once every 2 weeks, and I'll pick up your dog's poop for $5 a visit, right? You're solving a small problem, so you're making small money. You're also not there for that long. You're probably going to be there picking up poop for maybe 10 minutes, make $5, get out of there, go on to the next customer. Not a bad business model, and there are companies that have taken that business model and scaled it. So just because you're solving a smaller problem does not mean that you won't make big money, but you're going to make smaller tickets, if that makes sense. So your ticket size for picking up dog poop in the neighborhood is maybe only going to be $5, $10, maybe some tips. But for example, let's say solving a big problem. Let's look at Apple. I'm recording this on my phone. Apple solved a big problem. People want to communicate with each other. I mean, from where I live, I can text somebody all the way in Japan, or I think you can text people in across country. Let's say you can't, maybe you can't. I want to text somebody all the way up in Maine, top of the U.S. I can send them a text and they'd receive it right when I send it. That's crazy. Apple solved a big problem: communication, FaceTiming. They solved, there's flashlights on the camera, or there's flashlights on the phone. If you are in the dark, there's cameras that are good quality, so you don't even need to go out and get an expensive camera anymore if you want to start taking pictures. So they solved that problem. I mean, Apple solves so many problems within their products, and there's a thing that a lot of business people do called what would Apple do? It's an acronym, but I don't want to say the acronym just because I don't want to have to figure out what the first letter of each word is, but it's what would Apple do. So when you're running your own business, think what would Apple do whenever you face a problem, what would Apple do? And you'll probably be led in the right direction. So solve a big problem, you'll make big money. And now we will get on to the second quadrant and the second key skill to running a successful business. And that is number 2, get attention. If nobody knows about your product, nobody can spend money with you. So let's say that Steve Jobs created this beautiful Apple phone in his garage, and he made it, but he kept it to himself, or maybe he sold it to a few friends, a few people in the neighborhood, and he didn't. And Apple's media budget or marketing budget is huge. All the time you see Apple ads and stuff like that. So that's the idea, is that you need some sort of a way to acquire leads and acquire attention to your business, because if nobody knows you exist, nobody can spend their money on your product or your service. So, that's just about as simple as it gets, is just running ads, or door-to-door is getting attention. Maybe you're handing out business cards, or door hangers for service businesses. That's popular. You go around in neighborhoods, throw a little door hanger on their front door, gathers attention to your business. You have to have ways to acquire leads and acquire customers. And if nobody knows that you exist, they can't spend their money with you. That's about as simple as it gets with marketing and getting attention. So on to point numero tres, that is sell the problem. Now, I think that people sometimes misassociate and kind of group 2 and 3 together, but they're not the same thing. Just marketing isn't selling. Selling isn't marketing. Now, they're somewhat similar, so that's why people can put them together. But if I'm at your doorstep and I'm trying to, I'm giving my sales pitch, and I am, doing my sales objections and all that, that is me selling. I'm not marketing. But if you see an ad for my company on the TV, that's marketing. Now, selling, selling. I could go on and on about selling. I love selling, right? It's something I'm still working on. I'm not the best seller in the world, but I'm making an active effort to learn as much as I can about selling, handling objections, and, knowing what to say when a customer gives this reason for not wanting to purchase, and, working with the client, and, over time building that trust, so that eventually, that if it's, bigger ticket item that you're selling, you're probably not going to be like, all right, get to a deal in 1 hour. It might take a few days to a week, or to a month, or to a year even. But, those usually look like contracts. But aside from the point, if you can sell, you will never be broke in this world. If you know how to sell people on things, you will always make money. You'll always be able to sell something, or a company will always find you of value and hire you as a salesperson. They'll give you a base salary, and you can just sell the heck out of whatever that company is selling, and you can make yourself a lot of money. So if you master selling, the art of selling, and the beautiful thing about it, about really all of these that I'm talking about today, is that they're skills. Business is a skill. It's not, you're not born with it. Some people are better at it when they're born. Some of us have to work a little bit harder. I'm personally not a great salesman off the rip. When I was born, I didn't come out with the charisma and charm to, knock on a door and just work with the person I'm talking to and overcome whatever they're saying. Now, I've had to learn. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. I've read a lot of books about the topic of selling. And it's beautiful now that I'm starting to get it, is because I can see the art of it. And it's just knowing, it's just you lead the conversation to ultimately where you want it to go. You're using psychology. You're using all sorts of different things that come into the process of getting a prospect or a potential client to say yes and hit the buy button to whatever you're saying. to whatever you're selling. And there's so many different things that go into the sales process. Just like there's two different ends of the spectrum. Let's say me and you are physically having a conversation. We'll just mark one aspect as me overcoming your objections and ultimately working as hard as I can to, not even working as hard as I can, but just naturally leading you to the result that I want you to spend your money on the product that I'm selling. Now, other end of the ballpark, you want to say virtual app. Me and you aren't physically talking, but on apps, you buy things all the time, right? So that's still selling. So say you get an ad when you click on a game or an app and it says remove ads and pay X amount a month or X amount a week or whatever, probably a month. That's still selling. Me and you aren't having a conversation, but my app, if I had an app, it would pop up on your screen and say, hey, pay this amount to remove these ads because I know you don't like these ads. So that's still me and you talking, but that's still selling. And you can learn and systemize that app or whatever to easily make it as easy as possible for the person to spend their money with you. So it's like $10 a month. You click one button, and next thing you know, it's asking for your card information. You don't have to click a million buttons and answer a survey. It's just quick, easy, because if they don't have to think about it as much, it won't take as much energy, so they can just easily spend their money. It's an easier decision to buy. So there's so many aspects in selling, and if you study it and you get good at it, you'll never make money, and it'll make you a better business person and really just make you better at regular conversation with, even if you're not selling. There's so many upsides to selling. I could go on and on about it, as you can tell. And, study people. It's like I said, it's a skill. All these are a skill. Off the top of my head, I don't know who the best marketer is, but I'm sure you could look up marketing books or marketing YouTube videos and learn. Able to solve a product. You can go to ChatGPT right now and say, hey, what's a big problem I could solve in the world? But on the sales side, I can 100% tell you if I had to recommend looking up anybody, go look up Andy Elliott's videos and just study the heck out of the guy. I mean, he's an absolute baller, absolute killer in the sales world, best salesman in the world, in my opinion. And I mean, you study him for a year or whatever, you're going to come out on the other side of that year every day. It's not when you feel like it. Every single day. Practice that discipline every single day. Sit down, watch a YouTube video, take notes on it, really pay attention. Don't just have it playing in the background. Or I think he has a book. Read his book. I haven't read his book, but I watched just about all his YouTube videos. Study the guy, and you will be able to make money. Now, final quadrant. Skill number 4 is systemize the fulfillment of your product or service or business, whatever it may be, right? That's all of the points. So I'm gonna put the marker away and just hold it with both my hands. Systemize. I know it's backwards for you guys, but systemize your products. If you can become a master systemizer, if that's a word, if you can become a master systemizer, you can systemize just about everything in any business. It's kind of like selling. You'll always be able to make money, but they all work off of each other. So you solve a problem, then you advertise that problem to get attention, and then you sell that problem to those people that you just acquired through marketing. So you marketed those people, they're interested, so now they're talking to you or they're on your website, so now you're actively selling them, and then you systemize the fulfillment process of their orders or of their appointments that they may set, whatever it may be, but you have the systems. Systems is important for any business at scale. A business cannot be at scale if there is not systems. A business is only as good as its systems are. And a business can only make as much money as the systems allow it to. If I run a service business, for example, let's say I run a roofing company, right? If I run a roofing company and I'm bringing in, I'm running ads and they're attracting customers and I'm actively selling them and the sales are going through, we're closing deals, money, baby, we're closing deals. Now it's all up to my systems to be able to fulfill those roofing projects or roofing work, right? So like if I have 100 employees on this roofing business, I can get so much more customers and book them in the same day, same week, same month, and then I can make more money because I can take on more jobs, right? So, and I can have skilled people working on those roofs, getting them done. The customer's happy, and you systemize the standard operating procedures so they know what to do within the business. This isn't just roofing company anymore. This is across all sectors of businesses. You know, there's SOPs, checklists, so that the people that are working for you know what to do when they're dealing with a customer, interacting with a customer, fulfilling a job. They know what to do. They're trained, and that's also another system. You have a person, an employee that trains your employees to be able to make customers happy so that your business can keep getting reviews and keep getting positive reviews and keep making money and keep bringing in leads. Now, I think the best example of this is fast food chains. I mean, the systems are to a T. They're awesome. They're beautiful. For a businessman like me, whenever I'm in a fast food restaurant, I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, that's good stuff, right? I mean, think about it in McDonald's. I mean, you have a burger in Montana and you have a burger in Indonesia. They're going to taste the exact same. They're going to taste the same. That's crazy how they've done that. But McDonald's, who I think Ray Kroc is the owner, right? That dude is a master systemizer. Study him. Whatever you can get on him. Learn from him or learn from other people that will teach you how to make systems. You just got to learn. It's all about learning. So, I mean, if you can just build systems and make it to where you can fulfill orders and do what your business is supposed to do at scale, and you can complete orders and complete things, jobs at the top of at top of the line, whatever, then you will be able to make a lot of money. So yeah, that is the 4 principles. Solve a problem. It's a big arrow. It's like a ladder. Solve a problem, then get attention for that problem, get leads, then turn those leads into sales through your sales process, become a great salesman, and then allow your systems to take over and do the rest of the work. Sup, dog? Allow your systems to take over and do the rest of the work so that you can fulfill those orders and make money, which we all love money. So master these 4 business principles, and I promise you will run a successful business. And if you master these and the business isn't where it is quite yet, then just let time take over, and eventually, if these are mastered, you can't just be mediocre at these things, become a master at these 4 things, and I promise you can run a business at scale. And that's as easy as it is. Master these 4 things, or that's as simple as it is. Master these 4 things. It's not easy to become a master at anything, but with the hard work, dedication, discipline, you can master these, and you'll be able to make a lot of money in this world through your businesses. So that is my 4th video. Wanted to teach a little something today that I've learned so far on my journey. Now, subscribe if you would like to follow along with my journey. I'll be posting videos kind of like this, but also kind of more like just saying what's going on in my life and in my businesses at 17 as I try to build generational wealth for me and my future kids. Thank you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.